Am I the asshole for kicking my brother-in-law out of my house for asking this question in front of my friends? My F31 brother-in-law, Tim, M30, lost his wife 8 months ago. To be honest, we aren't close, never been close due to his brutal honesty, and his hurtful remarks to me all the time. He stopped paying rent for his former apartment because he doesn't work and asked to move in with me and my husband. I had reasons to say no, one of them is that I'm taking care of my 5-month-old son. It's hard, but with Tim's constant requests like cooking for him, cleaning his room, and fixing stuff for him, it's times 10 harder. I tried to be graceful and suck it up, but he's become annoying, constantly commenting on my weight, saying things like, "Are you comfortable looking like that?" Or, "Wow, you've changed so much since you had the baby." It's annoying, but my husband asked me to let it go since Tim is grieving and isn't thinking rationally. Yesterday was the final straw. I had my best friends over for the first time after my son was born. We were in the living room chatting while Tim was asleep. He sleeps till 4 p.m. He showed up later and sat with us and started taking part in the conversation. We were talking about being busy all day and he interrupted me and asked, "So when are you planning on losing that baby weight? I guess you should take advantage of the last month of summer and get in shape before it's too late." I was in shock and dismay, and embarrassed by my friends going radio silence like that. He doubled down by looking at me, waiting for an answer. I bluntly said, "Actually, I'm not planning on losing any baby weight anytime soon, unfortunately. But I am, however, planning on losing some dead weight that is you and your never-ending demands all day every day while I'm trying to care for my newborn." He told me to chill, but I got up from the couch and said I couldn't put up with this anymore and he had to pack and leave. He didn't think I was serious, but then head upstairs and called his brother. My husband came home after my friends left and called me ridiculous for kicking his grieving brother out over a question he asked. I said he embarrassed me in front of my friends and that I was done catering to his DEMA MDS from cooking, cleaning while trying to care for my infant with no sleep nor self-care for myself, and this is how he treats me. He agreed but said kicking Tim out would be cruel, nuclear and unnecessary since we can work this out differently. I refused to discuss it, said he had to go. I gave him 2 days to find a place to stay, and my husband is convincing me I was making a mistake and should have some empathy towards Tim and his situation as a new widower, besides that it's my husband's home too, so I can't make this decision alone. Did I overreact here? Edit. Answering to some questions. A. Why I keep cleaning Tim's room and do stuff for him? Because he doesn't do it himself. He leaves everything messy and has no problem sleeping in a filthy room with food and clothes thrown around. B. Why isn't my husband helping? Because my husband works full-time, but he does his share of chores at home, and being new parents, we're more stressed and exhausted than any other time. C. Is Tim always like this? Yes, even with his own wife. Though her death was so devastating for him he couldn't talk for a week because of the trauma. But this is his character, and yes, I shouldn't act surprised now, but given the fact I'm helping him out, then I expected some form of appreciation. Not the asshole. But if I were you, I'd be evaluating the people near and dear to you. 1. Your husband shouldn't have let him disrespect you in the first place with not only his rude comments, but his cooking and cleaning demands. The misogyny is strong with this one. 2. Your friends shouldn't have gone radio silent. No hate, though, not everyone's confrontational. But I would have rolled up my sleeves if that happened to my friend lol. Anyways. This dude sounds like a middle schooler that is actually attracted to you, so tries to knock down your self-esteem so that you think maybe he's all you deserve. Sorry about the loss of his wife, but being an asshole widower doesn't make the asshole part any less prominent. Not the asshole. Tim is being a dick, and why on earth does he expect you to cook and clean for him? He's an adult and he should be doing that for himself. He doesn't work, he lives with you for nothing, and he can't even flick a duster around or make some lunch. And #X200B. I'm tempted to suggest his wife faked her own death to get away from him. If he stays, he needs to do his share. WTF, not the asshole. Fuck these men trying to calm down an irrational woman. I hate this kind of stuff so much. What is your husband thinking, letting you be a mother to his grown-ass brother? Nope, I would have kicked his ass out too. Husband would be a close second. Good for you for standing up and having self-respect. Not the asshole. But the first mistake made here was your husband not putting a stop to the unnecessary comments in the first place. Grieving man doesn't entitle him to talk to you about your weight. Not the asshole. Since Tim is grieving and isn't thinking rationally. Grieving is not an excuse to be an asshole, especially not to the person who does the most to make sure his needs and unreasonable demands are taken care of. I commend you for trying to deal with this as long as you have, but you are already taking care of a baby. You don't need another child in your house right now. It's time for you to put your foot down. Why are you catering to a grown man? Why is your husband okay with it? Not the asshole. You are the one home with him all day. If your husband wants to babysit his brother, let them get a place together and do that. Your husband needs to pull something out of his other area and see what is being done to you. Grief does not equal rude or tactless. He was this way before his wife passed, so no excuses. Not the asshole. He can find somewhere else to mooch and insult people. What an ass. P.S. Suggested script if he stays. Tim. Wow, when are you gonna lose that baby weight? You. I don't know, when are you going to get a job? Save some money? Live on your own like a big boy? Tim. Gets angry. You. Dude, chill. Not the asshole. Tim leaves, or you leave seriously. Your husband is disrespecting you by allowing this to continue. There's grieving and there is using. He crossed the line a while ago. Am I the asshole for backing out of cooking for my DH's guests after he told me, do your job? My husband and I both work, equal hours. I'm a hairstylist working at a salon and he is a warehouse manager. My mill is very sexist and lives in the 1950s still. She said women can't stop taking care of their households as a priority no matter what they achieve. I hated this and it caused endless problems between us. My husband learned to do everything from folding his clothes to fixing the toilet except cooking. His mom taught him that his future wife should do everything so he didn't have to learn. He defended me against her and cut contact with her. She hasn't participated in a gathering since 2015 due to family not wanting her around. My husband cleans while I cook, but he tends to complain from time to time and throw some weird opinions at me that are similar to what his mom thinks. I get it since he's been raised by her and this mentality takes time to go away. Last week he had guests over and asked me to help him host dinner. We agreed that I cook and he clean like always. Guests arrived and my husband sat with them while I was in the kitchen cooking. I had issues with the oven, I was running late and dinner wasn't ready yet. My husband rushed into the kitchen asking why dinner wasn't ready yet. I said I'd be done soon. He grabbed few glasses while pressuring me to hurry up. I made a comment about how I didn't even get to meet his guests and how unfair it was. He casually said, "Just do your job," and rushed out. I was shocked. I stopped him and asked, "What did you just said to me?" He looked at me quizzically. I turned the oven off and stopped cooking. He was freaking out saying, No, wait. What are you doing?" while I took my apron off. I said I don't work for him to tell me to do my job. And he should take over cooking if he thought I was slow. He begged me not to do this to him and explained he didn't mean to tell me to do my job but only spoke this way since he's used to say stuff like that at work and wasn't paying attention. I refused to continue cooking and went upstairs to wash the smell of onion off me. I left him in the kitchen to handle serving dinner on his own and he came upstairs 2 hours later after the guests left and looked an absolute mess, hair messed up, and his shirt stained. He asked if I was happy and proud of proving a point by backing out of cooking last minute just cause he slipped and accidentally said, "Do your job." I told him that he's an adult and is responsible for what comes out his mouth, accidental or not, and again said I didn't have to cook for his guests and that I only volunteered to help, and he sounded like his mother with what he said. He said it wasn't true and that he was disappointed because I didn't stick to my word and left him to fend for himself and embarrassed him in front of guests by giving them half-cooked meals over something so dumb. He walked out after changing his clothes and called me mean. He wants an apology for backing out last minute knowing he can't cook. AITA? Not the asshole. It's past time for him to learn to cook. Because it's not your job, he owes you an apology. Also, show him this post. Not the asshole. Just because he accidentally said what he was pretty obviously thinking. Right. And then he has the nerve to be more worried about saving face in front of his buddies than mistreating his own wife, so he blames you. He is the problem here. Not the asshole. How do I count the ways? Why does your husband still not know how to cook? He could have made an effort to learn as an adult. That's a rude thing to say even at work, so his excuse for acting like a dick at home is that he's also a dick at work? I think it is pretty obvious that if you insult someone while they're doing you a favor, they might not want to do the favor anymore. Demanding an apology for this is just entitled. He should be the one apologizing, if he hasn't already. Not the asshole. I also feel like it needs to be recognized that all of this started because OP's husband actually interfered with her cooking. I don't know what kind of barn he was raised in, but you don't go storming into the kitchen and inform the cook that they're taking too long. especially when you yourself do not cook. He can't have it both ways. Either he stops pretending that choice parts of his anatomy are going to fall off if he touches the stove and starts helping out, or he stays out of her damned way. I'm going to go against the grain here. Our partners are our partners. You knew this would embarrass him, at the least, and possibly humiliate him. What he said was wrong and infuriating. He was flustered and clearly wanted to impress these guests. You were also flustered for reasons out of your control, but that doesn't mean you leave him hanging. A coworker, friend, acquaintance? Sure. But not your partner. Unless you are planning to leave him for it, tell him you're upset, set it aside, and lay into him later. There's no need to humiliate him. He sucks. You suck. Everyone needs therapy. Not the asshole, if you don't mind me asking, but does he do that a lot? If so, why do you put up with it? 'Cause like it doesn't seem like he is actually growing or maturing, but that he is just swallowing it down. Ya know. Uncertain. Honestly, it really depends. If he said it meaning it's your job as a wife to cook, then he is the no question. But, from the sound of it, there is a very good chance that all he meant by job was your agreed upon work responsibilities. If that is the case, it would certainly make more sense with him apologizing for a slip-up with his wording as opposed to a sexist remark. A slip-up of word use should be understandable. A sexist ideology is obviously not. I highly doubt he's a sexist at heart and you are just now figuring that out. Poor choice of words seems far more likely. Not the asshole. If he can't cook a meal and is dependent on you to do so, then it would behoove him to 1. Believe you when you say you're having problems with the oven since you know what you're talking about and he doesn't, and 2. Be respectful and kind to the person doing the work. Rushing into the kitchen demanding dinner and pressuring you to hurry up, I don't know how you're supposed to make things cook faster than they do, is awfully entitled behavior from the guy who refuses to cook. Do your job was the coup de grace. Am I the asshole for getting mad at my boyfriend when he refused to buy a new swimsuit? Me, 26F, and my boyfriend, 28M, have been together for almost 4 years. Over the years we have spent extended periods of time with both of our families. We try to alternate major holidays with each family as visiting both of them requires travel. We also try to split time during summer trips as well. 2 summers ago we spent about 10 days with his family at their lake property. It was very relaxing and was a great getaway for us. There was one minor hang-up though. My BF's grandparents were at the lake property as well and my boyfriend asked that I dress respectfully around them. Now, I take a lot of pride in my body and spend a lot of time and effort to keep it looking good. So, I like to show it off. I wear skimpy bikinis and have piercings, sue me. My boyfriend didn't try to stop me from wearing those while we were swimming or on the boat, but he did ask that I at least wear sports bras or something to cover up while around his family. For the most part, I did. But there were a few times where it was just too hot or uncomfortable to wear a bra and I would just not wear one under a crop top or whatever I had on. My boyfriend called me out on it afterwards and told me he had family members ask him about it, but I just shrugged it off. Well, this year we decided to spend Labor Day with my family. We rented a cabin and I was really looking forward to it. Until a stunt my boyfriend pulled. He needed to buy a new swimsuit since his was getting old. Now, my boyfriend is not a big clothes fashion guy, so I was kind of surprised when he told me he ordered a swimsuit from a trendy online store he heard about. What I didn't know was that he ordered a swimsuit with an incredibly short inseam that was also very, very tight. The first time he tried them on I could literally see everything. Like, even though everything was technically covered, there was nothing left to the imagination. I told him there was no way he was going to wear that around my family. He said they were comfortable and he likes them and he didn't want to go out shopping for anything else. I told him there would be kids there and he literally looks like a sausage. I asked him if this was some kind of petty revenge for me not wearing a bra around his family 2 years ago and he got pissed at me for even insinuating that. He told me he wanted to try something new and fun and had no idea the shorts would fit the way they do, but that doesn't change the fact that he likes them and feels confident in them. I told him to go buy a new pair but he refused. Every time he wore them over the weekend it was brought up by someone in my family. I don't think anyone ever said anything directly to my BF, but I definitely got asked about it. When we got home I told him how disappointed I was that he didn't respect me or my family enough to at least make an attempt at covering up. He won't really talk to me about it right now and just keeps telling me I'm being an asshole about it. You are the asshole. You did exactly what your boyfriend did. You wore things that were revealing and left nothing to the imagination, just like your boyfriend did. How did you think this would turn out exactly? You deserve what you got and you're so condescending, it is hilarious. Karma's a bitch. Info. Why is it okay for you to wear what you feel is comfortable and appropriate but not he? You are the asshole. You wax heavy about respect for you and your family, but apparently this sort of respect is a one-way road? Quite the entitled type you are. You are the asshole. Haha, you are the asshole. I actually laughed at this long con you didn't dress like he asked you to. Why should he be expected to do the same? Your fam wanted to glance at the outlines of his junk. He worked hard on it, so sue him tears of joy. Honestly, I think this guy is brilliant, and I applaud his long game here. You pretty much told him to fuck off when he asked you to cover up in front of his family, and then you have the stones to get upset because he does the same in front of yours? You are the asshole. So you put your body on display for your own comfort and happiness, then get mad when he suggests this made his family uncomfortable, but somehow you think it's, like, totally different when what he wears to display his body and be comfortable makes you and your family uncomfortable? And you should get a free pass on it? Nice try. You are the asshole. You are the asshole. Your boyfriend is an absolute legend, and I can promise you he didn't just order that swimsuit. That swimsuit has been waiting for this moment ever since the weekend you refused to abide by his wishes around his family, tears of joy. You totally deserved this. You understand exactly how he feels now. Karma's a bitch. Am I the asshole for not staying with in-laws on Christmas Eve? I have been with my partner for 4 years and we have 2 children. We had them early in our relationship but spoke a lot on our family and childhood to know we were similar and our families have similar traditions and values. Keep that in mind. My in-laws have decided that around the holidays they no longer want to have a Christmas tree in their house for religious reasons. They're Christian but now believe it's a pagan tradition. However, they have always had a tree for all of my partner's life, 26 years. I am completely fine with their decision as it is their house and what they now believe. However, this was not how I was raised nor my partner, so we still want to have a tree up in our house. Especially with 2 young children, continuing the same traditions we had growing up is special to us. When I was a child, the tree was quite pivotal in our holiday celebrations because we would make a big deal of putting it up, and the best part, Father Christmas, leaving presents under the tree. To me, it doesn't feel like Christmas without one. My partner is very supportive and agrees that having the tree is special, and he wants the children to experience Christmas like we both had as children. My in-laws want us to sleep over on Christmas Eve to wake up at theirs on Christmas Day. Last year they wanted us to do the same, but I refused as I wanted my children to have a Christmas tree. They had a big argument with my partner, but he stood by our choice, and as some nasty words were said, he didn't speak to his parents for a while. Before Christmas they did make amends, but we still agreed to stay at our house at Christmas morning, only going to see them later in the day for Christmas dinner. However, coronavirus put a pin in our plans and we had to stay isolated from them anyway. This year they want us to spend Christmas Eve and Christmas morning with them, but my position still stands. I want my children to have a Christmas tree when they wake up on Christmas Day. It's not that I don't want to see them, I am happy to see them in the afternoon or even the day before. I don't think this will go over well with them, as they have previously made comments like, "It's just a tree," and, "Does a tree mean more than your family?" To which I say of course not, but they have had 20+ years to have Christmas with their children the way they wanted to, and now my children are here, we want to have Christmas how we want. My partner was supportive, but I think after last year's fight he will be guilted and swayed by his parents. They have previously made comments like we are sinning, and often the conversation turns into argument about having a tree and following pagan traditions. My children are both under 4, so I'm still a new mom, and it's still exciting and new to witness your children opening presents by the tree and having the same traditions that I had when I was a child. Am I the asshole for not wanting to stay with the in-laws on Christmas Eve? Not the asshole. They're not okay with the tree, but the present thing is fine? The date December 25th is fine? Wait till they find out the whole holiday is based on pagan traditions. Do what's most fun and best for you and your kids. If the in-laws throw a fit, keep scaling back your visit until they learn to respect you. Not the asshole. Also, I am a big believer in having the children wake up at their own house on Xmas morning. This is the house they will remember when looking back on childhood memories. The house they are most comfortable in, the one that they decorated the tree, even with all the ornaments on the bottom branches, the tree with the ornaments they hand-made in school. Give them their own Xmas memories. You can go see grandma and grandpa after breakfast or they can come to you that morning. Not the asshole, and you wouldn't be even if they had the tree. In my opinion, it's important to make traditions as an immediate family unit and also separately to agree on some with extended family. What those traditions are is ultimately you and your partner's choice. Side note: I might be biased because my husband and I don't do overnights for Christmas either. I enjoy having that early morning Christmas magic with our young kids ourselves. Not the asshole at all. You and your partner are your own family now. You especially shouldn't have to spend extended time in the presence of someone who's been nasty to your spouse. You may want to check out the sub-R, just no mil for ideas and support about how to maintain clear boundaries with them. Not the asshole. If you want to raise your kids according to your traditions and beliefs, no one is allowed to stop you. By saying that you are sinning your in-laws or seriously questions your ways of raising the children, which I don't think is right. You've full right to let your children have fun with a Christmas tree. 100% not the asshole. Like you said, they have had 20+ years to have Christmas with their children the way they wanted to, so the fact they are trying to guilt trip you guys into doing things their way is selfish. Stick to your guns and spend your holiday with your children the way you want to. If your husband wants to allow them to guilt him into going, then in my opinion that's his cross to bear. Not the asshole. They're saying, it's just a tree, but they're the ones who are making a big deal out of it actually. So they had some sort of epiphany where they suddenly don't like a tree even though their whole lives they followed that tradition. There are trees everywhere. Look outside. They can't just have one in the house if they think it's important for you to have you and your children there, who are of course also their grandchildren. And if they won't, they don't understand you not wanting to spend the night there? It sounds like they're accusing you of being inflexible and rigid, but it's actually the other way around. You're the one with small children. Their Christmas experience should come first, and if their own grandparents don't see it that way, then they're not great people. Not the asshole. I completely understand because I love seeing my children's faces when they see the Christmas presents under the tree on Christmas morning. Also the night before we watch carols by candlelight on the TV by the lights of the Christmas tree. There is no way I could spend Christmas Eve or Christmas morning somewhere without a tree.